Alright, so today this video is simply about showing how to integrate or find the area under a circle using integrals. So let's get started. So just a diagram here. We got a circle. Here's the x and the y. This is that is a bit off, but this is the radius. Now for this we can assume that the radius has a set number, which is 6. Give me a second. Yeah. So we got the radius is 6, and then therefore we can conclude if this is at the origin, then the equation is y squared plus x squared is equal to 36. That is the equation for this circle. Trying to integrate this, let's solve for y to make it easier. Y is equal to, we're not going to take plus and minus, we're only integrating for the top portion of the circle, not the bottom. So we would say the square root of x squared negative x squared plus 36. My bad. Right. So now that you're trying to find the integral, you would have to integrate that. Let me write it in a better way. Integral of the square root of 36 minus x squared dx. Now that's a very hard integral to do, so I'll walk you through step by step. Now let's solve, or let's make it easier, a side right here. X in terms of theta and y in terms of theta. Right here we can see that this is x and that is the y. Wait, well, that is the y. So if this is theta, then the coordinates for that point are 6 sine theta, 6 cosine theta. Therefore, x is also equal to 6 sine theta and y is equal to 6 cosine theta. Now we can use this and plug it into the integral to make it easier to solve. At first it does not look easier, but it simplifies very nicely. So x is 6 sine theta. We plug it into here and we get 6 sine theta squared. And then we have to get dx in terms of d theta. So dx would be equal to 6 times the derivative of sine is cosine, so 6 cosine theta d theta, right? So dx is equal to 6 cos theta d theta, and we plug it in respect to this. So we get 6 multiplied by 6 cos theta d theta. Now let's change it up a bit. Simplify it. We can move the 6 outside. So we get 6 integral of, in the inside simplifies, and you get 36 minus 36 sine squared theta multiplied by cosine theta d theta. Simplify it even more and you get 36 multiplied by 1 minus sine squared theta times cosine theta d theta. Going in further, you get 6, take this 36 outside and you get 6 multiplied by 1 minus sine squared theta turns into cosine squared theta because of the trig identities. Multiply that by cos theta d theta. Take the 6 outside and multiply and you get 36 multiplied by cosine squared theta just turns into cosine theta multiplied by another cosine theta d theta. You get 36 cosine, my handwriting is getting a little sloppy, 36 cosine squared theta d theta. Now from our trig identities we should know the half angle I guess identity or root whatever is cos squared theta is equal to 1 plus cosine 2 theta, not squared, over 2. We plug that into here, and we would get an equation 36. And we can split up the first term, so we can split up the 1 over 2 and the cos 2 theta over 2, and we get 1 over 2 plus cos 2 theta over 2 theta over 2 d theta. Now this is very easy to integrate. We get 36 multiplied by 1 over 2 turns into 1 over 2 times theta, plus cos 2 theta over 2 turns into sine 2 theta over 2 times 2 is 4. Right? Now we've simplified it. This is the integral of a semicircle, but with respect to theta, not x. So we have to change that. Now let's go back here. What is theta with respect to x? Well, if we isolate for theta, we get theta is equal to x over 6. Well, I didn't give myself enough space. Give me a second. Theta is equal to x over 6 because you move the 6 over, and then you take the sine inverse or the arc sine of x over 6. Now we just plug it into this equation right here, and we get, now let's put this back in here and simplify a little bit. We get 18 theta plus sine 9 sine 2 theta, and this equation turns into, if you plug in the x, it turns into 18 multiplied by the arc sine, let's write differently, the arc sine of x over 6 plus 9 times the sine of 2 multiplied by, now theta is right here, so this would be arc sine of x over 6. And that is the integral of a circle or a semicircle with the equation f of x is equal to y squared plus x squared is equal to 36. Wait, let me get through that. Yep.